We are back in the 207 kitchen at O Main Studios. I am with Chef Kerry Altiero, who owned Cafe Miranda in Rockland, and Bill Gerencer, who, if you have a question about the working waterfront in Maine, this guy more than likely has an answer for you.
And,
so
knows,
thank you guys.
and knows who the story was about.
Exactly.
It'll be 99% accurate too.
So we're gonna make a tuna trio together today, right? Did I
That's
get that
correct.
Right? Okay, so where do we start?
Well, we're going to have tuna toro, which is the fatty belly, and then I'm going to slice up some maguro, which is more the biggest part of the meat.
Okay.
And then I took some maguro and diced it up and made a little tartare to go in there.
Nice.
So we'll have three things on this nice slate plate that's been pre-chilled. I got my tuna fresh out of the pan and out of the fridge, and I'm going to start slicing it up. And Kerry's going to saute a little bit of maguro too to put a little color on the outside for slicing.
Nice.
And how we kept that plate cold is actually it was next to my heart. Anyway, keep moving.
Oh my gosh. I wish I could say it wasn't true, but it is.
Yeah.
So bluefin is such a global fish. These fish are landed, I think this fish might have come from West Africa, but they get caught around the world and they travel around the world.
Yep.
So they might get sold in Tokyo, they might get sold in Boston or New York, they might get sold in Honolulu, they might get sold in somewhere in Europe. But they travel around the world where the market is. And of course, Tokyo is the king of the bluefin market. So Kerry is going to offer it up to the gods and start searing. And when you sear tuna, don't cook it through. You need 1/8 of an inch of color or less. Leave it nice and raw in the middle.
Okay. And what is on? Did we ever talk about what's on this right here?
We put a little soy sauce on there just to help caramelize it and give it some color.
Okay.
So when I'm slicing tuna, I'm looking for the way that the grain runs, and I want to slice perpendicular to that. And I bought myself a really nice sharp knife, and just it comes down through it like butter, and just let the blade glide through.
Don't force the blade. Let the blade do the work.
The blade does all the work, and just let it slide through. And toro is ridiculously, and you shouldn't saw like I just did, but toro is ridiculously fatty and very tender.
Yeah.
Now
And the fat is where the flavor comes from too. That's a big part of
that
this.
is, and I identified the grain here before I started slicing, and so now this has got a nice color to it. And Chef Kerry just pre-marked this for us. And we'll just take these and arrange them on the plate very carefully. I might trim this a little bit.
Maybe the best protein, in my opinion, on earth. This tuna and the scallops from Maine. And there, people talk about farm to table. This is ocean to table, and it's literally like 3 blocks from here. And it's been that way for hundreds of years. And we're just doing the bounty. Now, we see tuna coming from Maine, don't we, Bill?
Yes.
And is that a seasonal bit?
We see tuna in Maine in the summer. So the fish leaves the Mediterranean, comes across the Atlantic. It's one of the few fish that actually makes that Atlantic crossing. And the big fallacy is this ocean's full of fish. There are hot spots, but a lot of it's empty. And the tuna, the bluefin, cross that empty expanse, come over here, work their way down the coast into the Gulf of Mexico to the De Soto Canyon, and that's their primary spawning ground.
There we go.
And if you don't know where that is, think Deepwater Horizon. That's exactly right where it was. Oh, yes.
Really? So we're getting a history lesson, we're getting a ecology lesson.
That's great.
What else? And
we're learning a lot.
And then we get to eat this stuff, which is the best part.
And Sam told the truth, and it's all 99% true. So we're gonna everybody cross your fingers. We're gonna lift the ring mole off.
Okay.
And leave that there, and then I'll just type it with a little bit of green onions, and it worked.
I'm
Beautiful.
surprised.
It's good to have a chef in the kitchen who actually knows what he's doing.
Beautiful.
So that's it.
Simple as that.
Yes.
And then you just eat it just like that.
Just like that. Humans have been eating raw seafood for thousands of years. There's a book called The Oyster Book, and it talks about how the fact that, before we started farming as a species at the Fertile Crescent, we were along the coastlines and we ate a lot of raw seafood. And that exhibited by the fact that you can eat raw fish, raw oysters, unless there's pollution that can make you sick.
Right.
You don't get sick. Try eating raw pork or raw chicken and see how you do.
So our biomes are actually built to do this kind of thing.
Yeah, so
that we are built to do
don't be afraid
this.
of raw seafood. Just make sure it's high quality seafood.
Yep, and there it is. And you can get this stuff right at your local fish market, Brown Trading, right here in Portland. And these specific cuts, you can ask for the Toro. You can ask for specific cuts if they have them available.
Brown's
Yeah.
actually quite an expert when it comes to bluefin tuna. So if you're looking for bluefin, I'd start there.
And if you want more recipes like this, check out Bill's book, The Working Waterfront.
Wait, I have a book too. Hold on.
Listen, and Kerry may not have Cafe Miranda anymore, but you can still get him for catering and stuff
Yes,
like that,
I do
right?
catering. I'm plugging the book here. This is the Shameless Commerce Division. Thank you.
You can do that here. So good to see both of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And I want
Thank
to eat
you.
everything that's in front of me. So we got to go. So find the recipe on the 207 section of our website and app. We'll be right back.